Hello everyone, we're back with Ken Dombrowski, Executive Life Coach and Master Hypnotist, and today we have our first special guest, which is Michelle Dombrowski. So she is not only Ken's wife and my mother, but she happens to be a sonographer and she specializes in the high risk side of things. So while we have her today, we wanted to have a discussion about fertility and how hypnosis can help with it.
Oh, I want to get started. I'm going to ask my lovely wife a couple of questions to help you guys understand how this works and what her experience is. First of all, just tell us how long have you been doing ultrasound?
Well, for 32 years now, and the high risk side for 25 years.
So that's a very important distinction you just said, 32 and then high risk side for 25. Help us understand what that means.
So a high risk side, or MFM, maternal fetal medicine, is when either you have a series of health issues that might make you a high risk pregnancy, or you have an ultrasound of some type and we find something wrong, and then you get sent to the high risk doctor.
And I've been hearing these stories for years that she brings home, and I'm always so confused because I don't get the medical stuff at all. But I try to listen as best I can. So what do you notice when you have your patients that you're scanning, because you get to work with them one-on-one, like way more than a doctor does, right? What is an average scan how long does that take?
Oh, anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour, depending on what type it is.
Okay, so you're spending a lot of face-to-face time with these people. And what are you noticing, just generally speaking, what are most of the fears that you might be picking up on from these ladies?
Oh, wow. Most women are fearful that something might go wrong in their pregnancy, especially the ones who have been through fertility. So our job is to try to keep them as calm as possible and, reassure them. We can't tell them what is going on with their pregnancy, but as a sonographer, we just try to be very reassuring because there's a lot of fears going on.
Wouldn't a common fear also be miscarrying, just because I feel like it's so common for women to miscarry, so after that it's kind of hard to let go of that. That's automatic PTSD.
Right, absolutely. Miscarriages are a big one for us to try to help people work through, that this will be a better one this time.
Well, you also said another good buzzword that I like that's kind of the topic here today is fertility. So if someone needs help with fertility because they're infertile, is that right? What does your clinic or your hospital do to help people with that?
So we have a fertility center, and they would go get a consult with the fertility doctors to find out maybe if it's something that the mom has going on or something that the dad has going on, so that they can make it up to us to get some ultrasounds done. And there's a lot of testing involved with that.
And then what procedures usually help people get pregnant?
Oh, they can do medicines to try to get people pregnant. They can do intrauterine insemination or in vitro fertilization. So it's kind of like you might start with the medicines first and then try the IUI, where they put the embryo or the sperm and the egg inside, and then the in vitro, where they actually kind of get it going in a dish first.
So I caught a little bit of that. It sounded familiar. In vitro, is that the thing that we call IVF?
Yes.
And then you said IUI. What is that one?
Intrauterine insemination. So where they just kind of give it a go.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very interesting. So there's a lot going on in what you do. We certainly wouldn't have no time for all that. But what we're really looking at here is how can hypnosis help someone with infertile issues. What we do there is we have to kind of find the root of cause why this woman is having fears. If they check out medically, the husband has good sperm mobility and the wife has everything she's got going, but they still can't get pregnant, and they're starting to look at something like IVF. First we want to look at is the mental emotional state of that mother. This is hard to say as a man, so please forgive me, I'm surrounded by women. I've worked with lots and lots of these ladies, and the number one fear is getting fat. The women that I've worked with. So when we boil down to it and get to the heart of the matter as to what it is that they're really worried about, they're scared of getting fat and not being able to lose the weight. So we have to overcome that body shame issue that they're putting on themselves, and help them understand that, yes, you're natural going to put on weight, but you could also lose weight. So that's something that you have to work with. because that can spring off into depression and anxieties and all kinds of stuff. So I'm just wondering, have you ever had any kind of conversations or feedback from the women you work with?
The most that I see is the fear of just not being able to get pregnant. So I have noticed over the years, I'll have a patient say who comes for a first trimester ultrasound, and their husband is sitting there with an infant in their hands. And I said, well, whose baby is that? Oh, well, we just adopted that one. So now the fear and the stress of not being able to get pregnant is gone. They have a baby. So now that they're holding a baby in their hands, the stress is gone, and all of a sudden, here they are pregnant.
And that makes perfect sense, yes. And it does start out that way when the women I've worked with, where they just have a fear of, maybe what if I miscarry? What if it doesn't work out? What if I'm a terrible mom? But when we get lower and lower, deeper into the emotions, that's what they're telling themselves. But the deeper issues can be stuff like, again, body shaming themselves, worried about their figure. They're also worried about if they're going to be a decent parent, if they can be a good parent, because those are going to be people who usually had bad parents, had a hard time growing up. So there's a lot of layers that we have to get through with using the life coaching and hypnosis.
That makes sense.
I mean, yeah, I think it makes perfect sense. I'm in my mid-20s, so I have a lot of friends that are getting pregnant for the first time, and yeah, I hear it all the time, like, I'm getting fat. I'm like, no, you're just showing for the first time. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the way that you look, but it's just something that you have to deal with for a little bit, which doesn't help with compounded hormones, but that's a different issue because that's after you already achieved the goal of getting pregnant and staying pregnant through your first trimester, which is obviously the hardest part, so.
Absolutely. I want to capitalize on something you mentioned. It's very, very interesting that if someone does adopt a child first, that now they are a parent, and it completely changes the mindset on that deep subconscious level. So they basically hypnotize themselves into understanding that they are going to be a good parent, that they can handle this. So that mind, body, spirit, flows that energy to where they can allow themselves to get pregnant naturally.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it also just goes back to the point that we say all the time, like, if you can't find a reason medically, then we need to stop looking medically. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
You guys know what you're doing in your departments, all the female departments that you work in. If you can't find an answer, that means that it's elsewhere, which we have videos on that as well. Like, it's just because something leans medical doesn't make it medical.
Right.
So that's when you come in. Like, if her departments can't fix it, then we're here.
I actually really think it's stress.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
people can't get pregnant because they're so stressed out about the fact that they can't do something they think they should be able to do, that every woman should be able to do very easily, and it's not that case. It is not easy for everyone.
That's actually a great point. That's the idea of you're just biologically meant to do this and
Right.
you can't. I've heard that argument a lot, like just not feeling like a full woman or a proper woman or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on too. All right, well, I think this conversation could go on and probably warrant another video after this one. What do you think?
Probably.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Appreciate your help.
Thank you for letting me be here.
Thanks again for watching this video. If you would like to learn more about fertility, fears, anything like that, check out the rest of the videos on our page. Have a great day.